7 a.m. in the Mile High City on this Friday, spooky October 31st, 2025. Good morning, Denver, Colorado. You've tuned in to the Jeff and Bill Show, News Talk 710 KNUS. I'm your co-host, Jeff Hunt, along with Bill Thorpe, bringing you the freshest insights and hottest takes from the right, left, and center. Coming up after news and comment with Blake Olson, we're going to talk with Kurt Samuelson, candidate for Littleton City Council. There's also a big ballot initiative down there in Littleton 3A. We're going to talk all about that. You're not going to want to miss this conversation. Bill, one of the best pictures we've had all morning. Taco Spike came in.
I saw that.
From
That's
2946.
Awesome. That is so cool.
Spike is a tiny little dog.
Yeah, it's a tiny little chihuahua.
That's a chihuahua?
Sure looks like a chihuahua. Yeah, sure, I mean, the facial structure looks like a chihuahua. So yeah,
tiny little dog, and then dressed up as Taco. He's wearing a big taco.
I personally think that the costumes on the small dogs are the best. I just think that's where it works the best for me. I saw a pug the other day, and it was on social media, but dressed up as Audrey from Little Shop of Horrors, the big plant. And so it's funny because the dog was a black pug.
Yeah.
So with the face, you had a black inside the mouth of the plant, and so it worked perfectly as the little thing was walking around. I think that's fantastic. Oh, I love seeing the pictures. Thanks for sharing.
Please make our Friday and send us pictures of your dogs in costumes.
Love to see that.
Here's the phone number, 720-819-5115, 720-819-5115. All right, now is time for news and comment. Blake Olson.
Blake Olson.
Blake Olson, news and comment.
Good morning, TGIF. Happy Halloween. 29 and cloudy, expecting a high of 51 today. News sponsored by Pastor Camp Heating and Air Conditioning at 303-777-1234 to learn more about special savings opportunities on Lennox equipment. Our top story, FBI Director Kash Patel says a potential terror attack has been thwarted. In a post on X this morning, Patel said multiple suspects have been arrested in Michigan who were allegedly plotting a violent attack over the Halloween weekend. Patel says that more details are coming. The Schumer shutdown continues. The Senate adjourned on Thursday without passing a funding resolution and won't meet again until Monday. Millions of low-income Americans could start feeling the pain of the shutdown starting tomorrow when SNAP benefits are set to expire. In Denver, Mayor Johnson says volunteering could be as valuable as donating money or food, as his lefty friends in D.C. are causing all of this chaos. Never let a crisis go to waste.
You might be able to bring a truck that you can help bring food from one rec center to a food pantry. You might be able to spend some time on a Saturday to help pack up and deliver food at a food bank.
Yeah, and that'd be a good photo op for him.
If you want to support our community, the best thing you can do is you can give money, you can give food, or you can give your time.
And Jamie Torres is serving on the Food Access Task Force in Denver.
I stand before you as a daughter who stood with her mom in food bank lines when I was a child.
Okay, Russia says it's ready to test nuclear weapons after hearing 47 announced this week. I think this was yesterday, wasn't it? That the U.S. would resume nuclear tests. May have been 2 days ago. A Kremlin spokesperson said Thursday that recent tests of nuclear-powered drones didn't involve detonations, but if another country did resume nuclear testing, Russia would likely do the same. I could have sworn that they did this on Thursday, but who knows? Maybe I thought Russia did that on Thursday. So I'm going to try to learn more about that in the next hour. But it is, who knows? You can't trust anybody anymore. At least 2 people have been killed in New York City by heavy rains. One man was found dead inside a flooded boiler room. He is believed to have been electrocuted. Outrage erupting in North Carolina. An illegal alien has murdered a man in the state with a baseball bat.
This is the Catawba County home investigators say became the site of a murder investigation Thursday morning when the victim of an assault the night before died at a local hospital. Sheriff's deputies are now charging this man, 49-year-old Roberto Arreola, with murder. A search warrant shows eyewitnesses told police Arreola beat the victim, Jose Figueroa, in the head with a baseball bat. We talked to a man named Benjamin who has family here.
With a bat. And how crazy is this world coming into? And
you got that right. Wow. Byron Donalds, Florida, he knows Judge Boasberg, remember him, should pay the price for allowing Jack Smith to spy on Republicans.
I think it was Judge Boasberg was the judge who signed off on all this stuff. He needs to lose his seat as a judge. Right. That needs to go. Number two, they need to be called into Congress. But the third part is, because Congress will happen, we'll do that stuff. The Department of Justice is really going to have to go through this. And if there were criminal violations, they have to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. This is worse than Watergate. As much as everybody wants to talk about Watergate and everything around Richard Nixon, this is significantly worse because while they were using the judicial system to go after their political rival, they were also in the background protecting Joe Biden from the American people with the auto pen investigation and then silencing the American people through social media, strong-arming media companies to silence the voices of Americans. This is the most corrupt presidential administration, the Biden administration, in the history of our country.
Yes, we got to see someone has to be held accountable, someone, sooner or later. The Dodgers try to even the World Series at 3 games apiece tonight in Toronto. The Blue Jays will try to win it in Game 6. College football tomorrow. Arizona at CU, Folsom Field, 5 o'clock kickoff. CSU with an open weekend. The Cowboys from Wyoming at San Diego State tomorrow. And then the big game, Army at Air Force tomorrow morning, part of the Commander-in-Chief's Trophy. Montana State at UNC. We got NBA tonight. Nuggets at the Blazers. Chauncey Billups will not be coaching, of course, because of the gambling investigation. He's on leave. Avalanche in Vegas today at 2 o'clock. Ravens over the Dolphins last night, 28-6. Broncos at the Texans on Sunday, 28 in Arvada, 27 in Centennial, 29 in Denver. Jeff and Billy continue. Blake Olson, News Talk 710 KNUS.
Nice autumn weather as we wrap up October, head towards November. The weather will be very quiet, mostly sunny today, 50s, fair tonight, a low near 30. It'll be a little cooler and a little cloudier on Halloween as we're sideswiped by a cool front, but it'll be a dry front. More clouds, highs upper 40s to near 50 for Halloween, upper 20s Friday night. However, we're going to warm into the 60s Saturday, 60s, flirting with 70 come Sunday and Monday and dry. Meteorologist Don Day in the 710 KNUS Weather Center.
Welcome back to the Jeff and Bill Show. Election day right around the corner. What's going to happen in Colorado? In fact, some of the biggest, most important races in your life are happening Tuesday. Oftentimes we look at the presidential races and go, those are really important. And yes, they are. But what's going to actually directly impact your life are oftentimes city council, school board races, those types of things, even ballot initiatives, local ballot initiatives. By the way, no on LL and MM. I got a text message on that the other day. What should I vote on this? LL or MM? Making Coloradans buy lunch for all the other kids in Colorado, even the rich kids. Maybe we should mean test those lunches instead of buying them, but we'll talk about that later. Joining us live in studio, Kurt Samuelson. He's a candidate for Littleton City Council. This is a big race for the direction of Littleton. Lots of questions around the future of these suburbs around Denver. You know, you're dealing with what the governor's pushing, the agenda there. Housing issues, all that. So city council race is really, really important. Glad to have Kurt joining us this morning. Good morning, Kurt. Thanks for being on the Jeff and Bill Show.
Thanks for having me.
He's been checking his phone because he's waiting his text message from his grandson who's coming out for the Army Air Force game, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's
he
going to be
should
fun.
Hopefully be in soon.
You seem really proud about your grandson.
Yeah, he's a good kid.
Well, tell the folks where he's going to college. Yeah.
He's going to West Point.
Wow.
It's the third year.
Nice.
That's a lot to be proud of.
Yeah.
Your son or daughter's?
My daughter.
Daughter's son.
Right.
At West Point. That's fantastic. Does he know what his job is going to be in the Army yet?
He doesn't yet.
Yeah.
But he may want to go on to Special Forces.
That is cool. That makes you can see him. He's a beaming grandfather right now.
That's wonderful.
How's the race going? Are you going to win Tuesday?
I think so. I think we have a very good chance. There's it's just District 3, so it's a relatively small part of the city. And we expect, when I'm out knocking doors, talking to people, their issues are, I think we're very much aligned in what's important. First of all, fix the damn roads. That's what I hear a lot. We're doing that. But there's a special election ballot issue 3A that is. Our people have said loudly that they don't want multiplexes in their quiet neighborhoods. Yeah. And Littleton's, and especially in my district, a lot of quiet neighborhoods. They don't want high density housing in those neighborhoods. Yeah. There's places for that. But it's not in our quiet neighborhoods, and that's what we see most.
Well, I think it's important for people to understand, we've talked a lot about it on this show, that there's an agenda happening, being pushed by the governor and others to remake Denver, essentially to Los Angeles. They want RTD, light rails, mass transit, and they want to put apartment complexes all around those so that people are taking RTD down to Denver and stuff like that. And when you get into especially these older neighborhoods in Littleton that are just beautiful, we were there for a cross country meet nearby not that long ago, and like old ranch homes, single story. The neighborhoods are so quiet. It's nice. You're like, why mess with that? Like I understand if you want to build an apartment right next to the light rail, that doesn't bother me. But you're going to fundamentally transform these beautiful, quiet, old Littleton neighborhoods?
Right.
Yeah, I can understand why people don't like that.
People don't want that. They're fine with the density outside near the light rail stations. There's 2 light rail stops in Littleton. One at Santa Fe and Mineral, and there's 110 acres under development right now. There'll be several thousand housing units right there. There's a lot of housing units under construction in the city, over 3,000 housing units being built right now. So we're seeing that density where it should be and not in the middle of our neighborhoods.
What is your agenda? What are you hoping to achieve as a member of the Littleton City Council?
Well, we wanted to reset that housing issue that's going on right now, and the ADU, which the state pushed down, we have to revisit that. If this 3A amendment passes, we'll have to revisit that because we will be in violation of state law. So we'll have to redo that. But I worked on the Planning Commission for 10 years. I served the city in the Planning Commission for 10 years, and we talked about ADUs 15 years ago, and we did some of the first groundwork to have ADUs. And I'm all for accessory dwelling units, if people don't know, that an addition to your home, an accessory to your home where you can have somebody stay. But that we're good with that. It's just the high density that we have concerns with. But
Jeff, I would jump in here just for a second. Yeah, and I'm going to interrupt you there. Candidate Samuelson. It's Kurt Samuelson, candidate for Littleton City Council. And I'm not sure if this is necessarily a fair question, but with your experience on the Planning Commission and the fact that you've spent so much time there, in just your personal opinion, what do you think that the Denver Metro has gotten wrong about housing development? Because our shortage of affordable housing didn't happen overnight. This was something that happened gradually. And so I'm just looking at your experience with the Planning Commission. I think it could be germane to voters because it will also give kind of a window into how you're going to be viewing development inside of the city of Littleton. So with your time on the Planning Commission, what do you think that the Denver Metro got wrong about affordable housing development over the past couple of decades?
Well, we have to define affordable. What is affordable? You're talking about low income, moderate income housing?
How would you define it personally? Where would you draw the line if you were going to, if I gave you the Jeff and Bill magic wand, where would you draw the line based on affordable? How would you define it?
Well, area median income in the metro area is $126,000. If you're making 80% of that, you're making about $100,000 a year. And at $100,000 a year, you can qualify for the median house price in the metro area, which is around $520,000. So housing is affordable. It's just not as affordable as some people would like. The pandemic caused a lot of problems. People that moved here from other places drove up the housing prices because they could work from anywhere. So I don't know that we can back out of that, but Littleton has a program, South Metro Housing Options, where they have subsidized housing for low and moderate income people. There's a lot going on there, but it's market rate housing. I mean, we're not going to force developers and builders to build houses that they can't make money on. And so in a free market capitalist society, we have some difficulty there. But the city can support the builders and cut costs for builders wherever they can. The average cost for fees and water taps in the metro area is about $80,000 for a single family home. That's $80,000 before you ever buy the lot or put a 2x4 on it. So there's things that the cities can do to reduce the fees and maybe pick that somewhere else through other
and in some ways in the free market capitalist system, that would incentivize building homes that are only above the median home price because you're increasing your profit margin. So there is some incentive when the fees and when the city tax on extra fees, it then artificially, in my mind, raises that demand curve. But again, that's for a totally different day. Not fair. You're here to be a candidate, but I appreciate you spending that time with me. I appreciate your knowledge, sir. Thank you.
And I saw in the city of Denver that it's now almost a year to get the permitting approved. Yeah. So when you have the government that gets in the way like that, oh my goodness, a year?
So if you were going to build a house, would you go and build a $500,000 house or $1 million house if you knew you had to wait a year? You're going to easily cap out with $1 million because that's going to be the longer term investment that on the tail end is going to make more money.
I also wonder what's going to happen in like 20 years when, boomers die off. I mean, what's going to happen to all those homes, right? They're going to go up on for sale and market, and just the things are going to change. But when the government gets involved, oftentimes you see artificially inflated prices.
Nearly a fourth of all homes being sold in the country today, though, are sold to foreigners. Right. Outside the country. They may live here, but they are foreigners, and many of them buy homes because it's a great investment.
Oh, you're saying a quarter?
Yeah.
I haven't heard that before. Wow. I've heard the BlackRock investment companies are buying up homes, but outside of the United States, they're buying homes here.
Yeah. They may be living here, but they are foreigners.
Wow. Interesting.
Because it's a good investment.
Kurt, it's been a solid one until 2008 came around. Kurt Samuelson, candidate for Littleton City Council, joining us. Let's talk crime. What are you hearing from people regarding crime? Have they had enough of this? Is Littleton getting better? What do you plan to do on the city council to alleviate it?
I think Littleton is a very safe city right now. I'm also part of the Littleton Police Citizens Academy alumni group, and we volunteer and help the police department with different things that's going on in the city. We do traffic control for things like Western Welcome Week. So I was just talking to the police chief a couple of days ago on Monday night, and Littleton is a pretty safe city. They are able now to hire more officers, and they've added 4 new officers in the past year. And so I think we're on the right track with our police department, and I'm very supportive of the police department in making sure they have what they need. And our current police chief, Stevens, is retiring sometime in the next 6 to 10 months, something like that. But he's done a good job of supporting his officers to make sure that we have what we need. So there is probably more crime comes down the light rail stops from Denver and into the city than actual people in our city. So
but what you're hearing when you knock doors is people are generally pretty pleased with the direction of Littleton regarding crime issues. They like to see that continue, or any changes?
Well, I think what I'm hearing often is that the response times are a little slower than they would like if they had a call on something. But I think with additional officers and the addition of perhaps some drone AI response, which we're working on, it's really fascinating. We're talking about AI earlier. There's things going on in the city with drones for the police department to have a drone on site within 90 seconds of a call coming in. And that can speed up and let the officers know there is a problem here or there is not, and then they can go do something else. So we're seeing AI is going to be big for the police departments.
Yeah, and they don't ask you to send nudes. Based on the earlier story over here. Just saying. I had to throw that in there. I had to throw that in there.
Thanks, Bill.
You appreciate it. I will always make it more uncomfortable.
Yeah, and when you went through the Citizens Academy, I've done that as well. Does that put you in like a Superman perspective? So you got like, you can rip off and jump in, fight crime any moment of the day?
No.
You got to let the professionals handle that.
Let them do that. But it is a great experience. I'd recommend it to anyone to go through any of their local police academy just to understand what the police departments do and what they're up against.
Well, I was talking with Sheriff Darren Weekly, Douglas County. He was pointing out that a good percentage, 80% of the people in his jails aren't from Douglas County. So what they're getting is, because criminals like to follow boundaries, apparently, right? But they are just looking for crime, happen to end up in Douglas County. And because Denver is so weak on crime, just letting guys go, Douglas County ends up having to clean it up. So I imagine there is some bleed over that comes from the city into Littleton, just in the fact that you guys are closer than Douglas County is. But, when other municipalities are weak on crime, oftentimes it's the tough on crimes that have to pick up the slack.
Yeah. But what do they say about robbing banks? They go where the money is?
Yeah,
That's
right.
where the money is.
Right.
So you go to Douglas County where the money is.
How's business in Littleton? You guys drawing businesses? Are they open?
We are, and there's a new Costco opening up soon in Littleton, which is going to bring a lot of people into the city. But we have such a great downtown. If you've been on Main Street in downtown Littleton,
it's beautiful.
A number of restaurants.
My wife's favorite one's there.
Yeah, it's a great place.
Anniversaries, birthday, we're always at the melting pot.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate that. Well, it's a great place for business, and the Littleton Business Chamber is doing a great job helping businesses get established and keep going. So we're very supportive of the city runs on sales tax, and whenever we can bring a business in, then we can make more money and do more things for the city. So we're really excited about the things that are going on the south side, but all over the city, all up and down Santa Fe and Broadway. There's just so much going on. I think it's doing very well.
Bill, it's nice to see someone who's figured it out.
Yeah.
My goodness, we talk Mike Johnston, and we go, Mikey, it's sales tax revenue. You can only get that if people come to your city. There's no other way to get it. You can't. You can't just. You need people that with disposable income that want to go have a fun night in Littleton, for instance, and go to the restaurants and walk around. So you got to make sure the community's safe. That's top, bottom. That is the most important thing. Secondly, you got to have a lot of good restaurants and businesses. And when you have that and that experience and people are walking around downtown Littleton and enjoying it, and here you have Kurt Samuelson, who gets it. It's quite refreshing.
Thanks, Bill.
I see him in there. Any comment on how Littleton's going to be better than Denver?
Well, we have a great city. And it is a great place to live, and we want to keep it that way. We want to keep our quiet neighborhoods. We don't want high-density housing in the neighborhood, but we're happy to have dense housing where it makes sense.
Yeah, right. And I don't think any people have problems with that. Well, Littleton's doing fantastic in part because it elects good people. It needs to elect Kurt Samuelson, candidate, Littleton City Council, and vote yes on 3A.
Correct.
Do that. And Littleton continues to thrive and develop even in the midst of the challenges Colorado might be facing.
All right. We'll do very well.
There you go. Excited. Kurt Samuelson, what's the website? How can people support your campaign?
KurtForLittleton.com, F-O-R.
Kurt, F-O-R, and that's C-U-R-T.
Yeah, C-U-R-T.
C-U-R-T for Littleton.com. Yes. Awesome. Yeah. Well, Tuesday's going to be a big day. Hope you win.
We're excited.
And hope 3A wins and Littleton can continue to be great. Awesome. Right. Kurt, thank you for swinging by.
Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you.
If you have any comments, give us a call, 303-696-1971, 303-696-1971. Text us on the Dan Caplis Law text line at 720-819-5115. Littleton really is a great little community.
Yeah, it is. It's a wonderful little place. Yeah.
You got the Hudson Gardens there.
Yeah.
You got downtown Littleton right there, and you got all these really nice, quiet neighborhoods.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. Got a lot of history there. It's really cool.
There you go. All right, let's talk Mountain High Appliance. If you're looking to upgrade your kitchen, laundry room, or outdoor cooking area, look no further than Mountain High Appliance. Family owned and operated for the past 31 years. They have hundreds of appliances hooked up for you to have a true try-before-you-buy experience. They offer professional delivery and installation. Shop confidently with the price match guarantee, ensuring you get the best deal and special financing options. When it's time for appliances, think Mountain High Appliance, your favorite appliance store. I'm sorry, dude. I'm laughing about your comment around AI law enforcement.
Oh, thank you.
Showing up. Text me your pictures.
Yes. You know how you can get out of this ticket? Send nudes.
All right. When it's time for appliances, think Mountain High Appliance, your favorite appliance store. 3 locations in the Denver metro area or online at mountainhighappliance.com. mountainhighappliance.com. Their appliances won't ask for inappropriate pictures. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's Talk Leader, News Talk 710, KNUS.
Welcome back to the Jeff and Bill Show. Colorado lawmakers sign off on a $10 million check for food assistance as SNAP benefits are poised to run out. A panel of Colorado legislators on Thursday approved $10 million cash infusion into food assistance for residents who are expected to lose food stamp benefits starting on Saturday amid the federal government shutdown. But state policymakers and budget staffers said they fear that the plan is riddled with holes, describing it as akin to plowing a field with a fork. Of particular worry to policymakers is how exactly to get the assistance to beneficiaries of the federal Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, whose funding the federal government said will run out on February 1st. Colorado has no actual ability to put those funds into the hands of SNAP recipients because the state doesn't have a good tool to replace or supplement SNAP. Lawmakers were told. Members of the legislature's Joint Budget Committee also questioned why the governor only sought $10 million, given it would cost $120 million to fund SNAP this November. Meanwhile, cities are scrambling as they anticipate the loss of SNAP funding for their residents. In Denver, Mayor Mike Johnston announced a new food task force to help residents who might have a difficult time accessing food in the coming weeks. The $10 million in state funding requested by Governor Jared Polis will go to the state's Community Food Assistance Providers Grant Program, which is administered by the State Department of Human Services. So, bottom line, your SNAP benefits come on like what's called an EBT card, a little ATM card-like thing, and the state doesn't have access to that bank.
That's weird.
So
that's kind of strange.
Really? You think that's kind of weird? I don't see it as weird.
No, it's just kind of weird that the state wouldn't have a mechanism in order to fund those cards. I just think that's weird.
Well, and if it's $120 million and we only got 10, you're getting just a little bit.
Yeah, and the numbers are somewhere around
10%.
600,000 people, 330,000 households, more or less. And the benefits, as we outlined, aren't necessarily huge. It's not like they're getting hundreds and hundreds of dollars, but it does help close the gap and make sure they can afford things. And this is part of the squeeze, that if we talk about how we're upset with certain people making bad nutritional choices for meals, giving them less money is not going to help, because the healthier stuff costs more. And if I have to cut $83 out of my weekly meal budget, chances are I'm going to be looking at supplementing that with things like chips are incredibly inexpensive compared to something like blueberries, strawberries, lettuce, or anything like that, carrots. So that's kind of the balance that you're looking at. And that's what I'm worried about, is that these people that aren't going to have the nutrition assistance then won't either find the nutrition or have it at all. And we've seen extra lines of people at food banks, and we've talked about the crush there as well across the country. More and more people showing up, and because we have a lot of people also out of work, so there is a demand problem on that end for the charity side of things as well. Yeah, but $10 million is not going to fill the gap. It's not going to. Yeah,
no. 10 is definitely not going to fill the gap, and we're already in a budget crunch.
Yeah.
So now we're spending money here
that we're going to have to balance out somewhere else.
Trump now calling for the nuclear option, essentially, when it comes to getting rid of the filibuster.
Because we did talk about that a little bit.
We did this with judges, and it really worked out well.
Oh, yeah, that's been great, huh?
Right?
Everybody's super happy about that one.
I mean, the design, this is where I go, whoa, brakes.
Yeah.
Mr. Trump, big supporter of yours. And I understand you are a guy who just likes to get things done.
Yeah.
And this is annoying to you. It's annoying to me. It's annoying to a lot of Americans. And directly impacting their lives, too. So Trump's like, just get rid of it. Okay, this is the institutionalist side of Jeff coming out.
Ooh,
okay?
I want to hear this one. Because here's the reason, and what I want to preface this with, don't outline it now, but what I preface this with is there were some phone calls to the Stegall show that precedes us and other places that I heard people, just get rid of it. We need this to happen. And this is coming from the GOP side. Why don't we just get rid of it? So walk us through the institutional side of Jeff Hunt.
So it was designed from the beginning that the Senate would be the saucer, so to speak, where the tea that was too hot in the House could cool off a little bit. And there's quotes from our founders about that, right? Like the House is elections every 2 years for everybody, right? So it changes quickly. And the passions of the American people can be well reflected in the House of Representatives. So if the American people get a burr under their saddle, well, the House of Representatives is where you can exercise your frustration and things can come very quickly. Movements within the American experiment can come very quickly to the House of Representatives. The Senate is supposed to be the esteemed, kind of more stately branch of the bicameral legislature. So it is designed by our founders to be the place where, whoa, the passions coming from the House, well, they get to cool off a little bit. And we get to think about what we're really doing here. And part of those rules is the filibuster rule, which just says for any major piece of legislation, you got to get to 60, okay? Now, the Democrats went nuclear when they got rid of the filibuster rule for judges. So they, instead of 60, they dropped it down to 50 plus 1. Sometimes the vice president comes in, does the vote, and you get judges. And some would argue we've gotten more partisan judges as a result of it, both right and left. So you've got the debates about the judiciary happening as a result of getting rid of the nuclear rule. So if we do that on major pieces of legislation and Democrats get control, particularly those DSAs, the Mandamis, 50 plus 1 now in the Senate. Woo, boy. It's going to get real interesting real fast because they'll be able to kind of push all their progressive legislation because they don't need any Republicans to get on.
Yeah,
right?
Not at all, as long as they have a simple majority. And
simple majority.
And here is one of the things that I have heard people not understand about this process is a couple of things. One was, if they change it, why don't they change it right back after this vote? Okay.
That they could.
Here's the question. Why didn't the Democrats change it back before they were out of power once they got their judges through? Why didn't they? Because that would seem odd to not do it. And if it was just a simple vote to change the rules to take away the filibuster and then to put it back, why haven't the Republicans? Oh, yeah. Rules changes require 67 votes in the Senate.
Oh, do they require
yes.
67?
67, a supermajority. You need 67 votes to change this back. So this
I thought it was more of like a Rubicon that once is crossed that people are like,
you can change it and change it back, but tell me in that situation you will ever get 67, because what you're doing is you're telling the minority, we're going to change this so that we can ignore your vote, and then we're going to put you back in the minority and ignore you again. There's no way any minority, it doesn't matter if you're a Dem or Republican, you're not voting for that. That's why the rule didn't go back in. And before we assume, well, the Democrats will just do it when they get in power next time. Really? You think so? Why didn't they do it last session? Last time they had the Senate, why didn't they? If it is such a powerful, wonderful thing, there were lots of things that the Republicans gummed up the works on and what the Dems wanted to do. Hell, they could have passed their student loan forgiveness packages with stuff like this. Why didn't they? It's because they know on the back end they're not going to have the 67.
You are right.
That's the reason.
You are right about that.
That's the reason.
67.
Yes.
Which I don't think they're going to get.
Never. There's no way once you take away a filibuster you will ever get 67 votes to put it back in.
So what do you think Trump's doing then?
I think he's playing short-term games because after this is gone, realize he's only president 2.5 years more. I mean, he's always talking about having a third term, but even then, and we'll say, down what Steve Bannon says, and nor some other people inside of the MAGA universe. So the other part is that afterwards, there are people inside the Senate that know they're going to have to play by these rules beyond Trump. After Trump is gone, there are people in government that were there before Trump and are there after Trump. I mean, you have to realize we have people that are serving in Congress that serve an average longer time than the Pope does. If you did the average term of a pope and the average time we have a member of Congress, we have members in Congress longer than normally a person serves as pope. So this is the long game. That's why they're not doing this. They know that over the course of decades, they're going to need to be able to have this when they're out of power. It won't happen. It's a short-term sighted thing and a short-term goal because he wants to have the win. He's not looking at what happens, especially
but he's not going to get it. So
no,
he knows he's not going to get it. So
I'm not sure he doesn't know he doesn't going to get it. Oh yeah,
come
absolutely.
on. He knows.
No,
he knows he's not going to get it.
No, because remember, he's decided a whole bunch of things and he's forced Congress and a whole bunch of lawmakers to do other stuff. Remember and here's a great example for me. You were wonderful at giving voice prior to the election and coming into it about the idea of this huge omnibus bill. This is awful. And that is a very fair critique on both sides. The idea that we put this giant package together, and we heard lawmakers mirror that complaint for years inside of Congress. Trump comes along, no, we need one big, beautiful bill. And everyone goes, big, beautiful bill!
But it's guy this time.
I know, that's the problem. So that's the thing is, that's why they'll go ahead and they'll jump along when he needs them to, and he'll get in line. But yeah, he thinks he can boss them into this kind of a thing. So I think that's what he's looking at.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. We'll have to see. I don't think it's going to happen.
No, I don't think so either.
I didn't think it was going to happen because I didn't think the senators were going to cross that Rubicon, because once we've gotten into the judges thing, I think people are like, oh boy, I'm not.
And I think there's enough people in Senate right now that have the bad taste in their mouth left over from what happened over the judges. On both sides. Both sides have seen judges be appointed they would never have allowed to get appointed in the first place. So there is still that bad taste because of the longevity of people serving in Congress. So they still know that specter out there, to keep it on a Halloween theme. And they're afraid of that ghost behind them. Yeah.
Join the conversation. Would love to hear from you. 303-696-1971. Text us on the Dan Caplis Law text line at 720-819-5115. We're going to get to Mary next. Stick around. Phone line starting to light up. What do you think about this shutdown? It's really going to start to hit people this November 1st. Look, I've had friends that haven't gotten paychecks. Talked to one yesterday. Hasn't gotten a paycheck. And it's hitting those people, but you're talking about a lot of people relying on those EBT cards. Boy, November 1st, things are going to be shaken up. Do you think it's going to cut anything loose and we'll see an end to this government shutdown? Look, too many people on EBT cards maybe. And this might be a way to kind of clear out some of those as well. All right, you're listening to the Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's Talk Leader, News Talk 710, KNUS.
Welcome back to the Jeff and Bill Show. So, Billy, today's Reformation Day.
Yes.
And I thought only appropriate to bring out my Pope Leo bobblehead here.
Oh, that's nice. Nicely done.
I got this. This pre-ordered. I was so excited.
It's fantastic.
A little Pope Leo bobblehead. All right, and then I went and got went to the freezer.
Yeah.
And I got a little block of ice, so he can bless.
Oh, that's fantastic.
The Pope.
Yeah,
can bless the little block of ice.
I know.
In the name of climate justice.
Yep. Oh, I saw that.
Oh, thank the Lord for Martin Luther getting us back on track.
I know. What would we do with all your cult members? What would we do without you? It's kind of fun.
Why do you call us the cult members? We don't have a centralized leader. You guys
You're
do.
a cult.
We have a book.
Yeah. Again, you guys are, you decided to go off on your own and create your own rules and do your own thing with the book, etc. And go right ahead. And again,
create
you're wonderful.
Rules.
Yeah,
we went back
wonderful
to the
people.
book.
Wonderful people.
You're the
and
guys who continue to add to the rules.
Yeah, no. See, the whole thing is that Jesus turned Peter, and you're the rock on which he built the foundation of the church, and we still have that rock. So y'all don't, and that's fine. Go off, do your own thing.
Peter?
Appreciate it.
I know his bones are there, but
appreciate it.
No, you keep passing it along.
Yeah,
and the rock was the proclamation of faith that Peter made.
Yeah, so we still have it. We still have the papal structure and everything else, and it's great. And even the King of England at one time left and did his own thing. And we love you all. We appreciate you all. We love all the fact that you're bringing the faith to everybody else. But at the core, you're still breakaway cult members. It's okay. It's great. It's fantastic. And I love each and every one of you.
Mr. Thorpe.
I know.
Your little your little continuation of the papacy of Peter was blessing a block of ice 2 weeks ago.
I never said they all made great decisions, but that's okay. I don't think we can point at a lot of religious leaders making great decisions all the time. So I'm not saying they're all great decisions.
If only we had a book that could keep us all focused. All right, let's go to the phone lines.
Yeah.
Mary, Wyoming. Good morning, Mary. You're on with Jeff and Bill.
Morning.
I'm back.
Hey, how are you?
Perfect Halloween, too.
Yes.
That's right. Bill, you're not, in other words, 20 years ago, I don't know what the figures are now. I brought up a SNAP calculator so people could go and check, including in Colorado, to find out what the actual amount is. But 20 years ago, they were making, each dependent was getting just under $100 per month. And don't forget, they also get, there are many of them that get the free breakfast programs or the lunch programs. The mothers get free formula for the kids. I mean, so there's a lot that goes in to cut their food costs. And then don't forget also that illegals are allowed on SNAP. Not the men, but the families, because they don't want those babies to go hungry. So they justify them that they qualify non-citizens to get SNAP.
Okay. I will leave the fact that it sounds like you're arguing that we should let the babies go hungry for another day. But the average benefit inside of Colorado is $350 per household. So the bromide that you're coming.
Household.
Wait, Mary, I researched it. $350 is the average per month household benefit of SNAP in Colorado. It's a little higher nationally, but it still works out to about $80 some odd a week. And that is
like
the
I
average.
Said, just under 100.
Hang on. I know, I understand. It's under 100. But Mary, the idea that these welfare queens are having 5, 6, 17 kids and getting all these benefits, there are extremes out there. But the average, meaning the median, the middle point, is about $83 a week. Some are getting less, some are getting more. But the average, and that's why we're dealing with the average is just about $83 a week. And understand the average household in America has 1.9 kids, just under 2 kids. So we don't start with the idea of 4 kids. We start with the idea of 2. And with those two child households, you have $350 on average per month in household. That's what it is. And so I understand the other supplemental benefits and understand the idea of the free stuff with, the free formula. But outside of formula, that's great.
And WIC.
But, yeah. Okay, but it's not paying all the groceries, and this is the idea. We seem to have this sell that these people are staying home and not doing anything, despite almost every single statistic saying otherwise. That's the problem.
What do you think that they're doing once the kids are in school?
What do you mean? I don't understand the question. What do you mean by
in
who's
other
they?
words, the work. Think about, it was a big deal for the longest time where states were going to work fair. That, otherwise that until the kids were in preschool, which is 5 years old, the idea was that they at that point would have to go into employment and training and learn how to get skills to be able to get a job. It failed. And why did it fail? It failed in those states because once they put the kids into school, into preschool, that means they're all, taking during the daytime. Mom would be available to do employment and training education. They would then go ahead and have another baby. That was the issue. I always struggled with that.
Mary, I understand. Mary, I understand that's what happened then, but that's not the numbers now. And we can't use what happened 20 or 30 years ago as an example and say that it is still a truism today. Households are smaller, and we have the numbers on the average benefit. And if the average benefit for the child, that has the household for the SNAP benefit is $83 a week, that doesn't reflect the idea that mom or dad or anybody else is staying home and not working, because then the benefit number would be larger per se because they would qualify for more. So that's it. When we see the $83, that's the function, Mary. And I appreciate the phone call and have a great Halloween.
Mary, always appreciate it. Make sure you come back again.
Yes, back. Please. That was wonderful. That was a great way to open.
Mary from Wyoming. She's ready to take on Bill.
As always,
each
I love
and
that.
every day, which is what we love about this show.
And I love her so much. She's so special.
All right.
She's fantastic.
We'll continue. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
This is 710 KNUS.